I think I know a few people who suffer from information disorder. Nico speaking. How may I save the day? I'm Nico Star, and this is Nico speaking, and you are gorgeous. And that's Mr. T. Every episode has a theme. Today's theme is fake news. So I asked the Google to help me understand a little bit better what is the fake news. I went with the people's definition from Wikipedia. The definition, according to Wikipedia, fake news or information disorder is false or misleading information, including propaganda and hoaxes presented as news, often has the aim of damaging the reputation of a person or entity or making money through advertising revenue. Although false news has always been spread throughout history, the term fake news was first used in the 1890s. Not so recent. It's been around a minute. Nevertheless, the term does not have a fixed definition. It has been applied broadly to any type of information presented as news. For this first episode, I wanted to start with fake news because it's something that affects everybody. The worst kind of fake news that is out there is the stuff that happens in our head. What is your fake news today? Are you the fake news? I'd love to know in the comments below how you handle the fake news that's all around you every day. And any other topics that you'd like for future episodes. I hope to inspire you, motivate each other, hold each other accountable. Let's live our best possible life. We don't have to be that girl. We can just be us. Now, we've all had experiences. I'd like to go deep, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna speak about it. We're going to Portal. We're going to have a mobility session with Max. I call it a gym in air quotes because it's really more of a bio-optimization center. Today's theme is fake news. The worst kind of fake news being the things that we tell ourselves and believe. I'm a firm believer that if you don't like how you feel, you can change it. It's fake news that when you don't feel great and you feel unmotivated or depressed, that you can't change it. Because you can. I woke up today and I don't feel particularly motivated, but we're going to go and do some stuff to change how we feel and talk to some other people about what their fake news of the day is. We're about to do mobility training. The theme of today's episode, the inaugural episode, congratulations,
oh my God, yay,
is fake news.
Fake news. I say that all the time, Nico.
What does fake news mean to you when you say it?
If I say something on accident that I don't really believe, but I said before I think, I'm like, that was fake news. That was fake news.
I think the worst kind of fake news is we say to ourselves in our head, and forget that just because you think it doesn't make it true.
No, thoughts don't matter.
Thoughts don't matter. Yeah, so let's go mobile.
We're gonna go mobile.
Yeah.
Let's go, team. Let's go.
So we are at Portal. PRTL here in New York City on 17th Street, right by the Rubin Museum. And I'm going to go do my mobility training. I signed up for the Rejuvenation Olympics. So that's going to be challenging. Last time I did Inside Tracker, my genetic biological age. I think I was 54 when I took the test, and it said that my genetic age is 59. So I have 6 years to scrape off, plus because I want to slow down the aging. We're going to go and change that now. Hello, humans. So I'm going to introduce you to Fred right now. Fred is my faithful AI. Hi, Fred. How are you doing? We want to talk about fake news. I wanted to talk a little bit about the more philosophical elements of information disorder. What can people do to stop fake news in their own mind?
That's an insightful angle. People can combat this by practicing critical self-reflection, which involves questioning the validity and source of their negative thoughts, much like scrutinizing a dubious news article. Mindfulness and cognitive behavioral techniques can be particularly helpful. These encourage individuals to recognize when their thoughts might not be accurate representations of reality and to reframe these thoughts in more positive, realistic ways.
Fred, can you pretend to be a therapist and walk me through a sample exercise for reframing some negative beliefs I might have about myself?
Of course. Let's go through a simple exercise to reframe a negative belief. Identify the negative belief. Start by clearly stating the negative belief you want to challenge. Ask yourself, is this really always true? Can I think of times when I've done something successfully? What would I tell a friend who thought this about themselves? Could there be other explanations for why things didn't go right? Maybe external factors played a role. Or perhaps it was a learning opportunity rather than a failure. Turn the original negative belief into a more positive, realistic one. Instead of, I never do anything right, you might reframe it as, sometimes I make mistakes, but I learn from them and have succeeded in many ways.
I'd like to explore a little deeper why people lie to themselves or might lie and not even know it's a lie.
Exploring why people lie to themselves, or might lie without realizing it, taps into some deep psychological processes. Self-deception can serve as a defense mechanism, protecting individuals from uncomfortable truths or emotions that are difficult to face. For example, someone might convince themselves they don't want a promotion they didn't get to avoid feeling hurt or inadequate.
All right. Thanks, Fred. I'll be back. Thank you for playing. That was an interesting conversation. The worst kind of fake news is the fake news that we tell ourselves when we know something is wrong and we do it anyway. A lot of the time it's because at some point there was something that happened. Everybody has their trauma, right? The real kind. Whether it was losing someone or getting injured or being bullied, whatever that thing was, how do you become aware of it as an adult? When I was in first grade, there happened to be a day where a stranger came up to the gate where we would have recess of our playground, and he pretended to be a Boy Scout leader. The security guard let him take myself and another little boy to the vestibule of a nearby townhouse to play a game. Classic scenario. This is the thing I can't let go of. The name of the game that we played was called Tickle Belly Button. Maybe this is why I hate to get tickled. So you start off tickling your belly button, and then he was like, do you feel the butterflies in your belly button? Do you feel the tickle? And so it went from there to other kinds of tickles. The problem with this fake news is that as you get older, you start reliving this behavior or recycling this program in relationships. It's interesting because the algorithm is very clever. The second you show that you're vulnerable to misinformation, all the people who are creating the misinformation out there will start targeting you. The whole premise behind being intelligent is being able to change your mind based on new information, right? When you're being faced with something, don't believe it at face value. Ask the questions. Be curious. One of the hardest things that I have to do day to day, realizing more and more now, is just like with all the fake news that's coming at you, what do you do to not get sucked into it? The only way that we can really deal with it intellectually, personally, and from having to be barraged by mass media and all the sensationalism is to just ask questions. So, like in your soul of souls, you know when something's right or wrong. You can feel it in your gut, right? What are your beliefs and mores about the things that you believe about yourself that you can't change? And that's the real challenge as spiritual beings having a human experience. You get to change. I am a big believer in being able to change how you feel and your life, not by magically manifesting things and doing nothing, but by doing the things, right? You can't just sit and do nothing and think thoughts about what your future is going to be like without being able to visualize a future and getting excited about it and then taking the actions to make that happen. It's up to us to be the best version of ourselves and to question everything. Always be curious, ask the questions, and don't believe everything we think. Because, again, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. You aren't what's inside your head. You exist up here. You're much bigger than you think you are. Ask yourself a question. Is the news that you're letting into your being really relevant to you? Is it relevant to your life? Or are you looking for distractions from the things that you really need to address? You are fake news. You are a liar. And if it's the fake news that you're telling yourself in your head, you can't help it because you're a liar. Let me know what you've been doing to deal with the fake news, internal or external or otherwise, and come with me on this journey if you will. If you subscribe to this channel, then that'll encourage me to do more content. I'm not saying it like you have to. Don't forget, you're the rock star. This is Nico speaking, over and out.